Hello to everyone out there in the non-space that is the internet. I'm your pal, J.Ishiro Finney, author and alien in a human suit, and this is the Furious 5. Something a little different, something we'll do every once in a while, just to make it interesting. And for the first Furious 5, we're going to talk about Star Wars. Now, I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and then I have to answer as well.
Now, are your answers going to be based on my answers, or
No.
or do I get to ask you questions back?
Maybe. Well, if it's funny, sure. Star Wars.
Okay.
Favorite ship?
That would be the TIE Advanced X1, aka Darth Vader's TIE Fighter.
And why is that?
For one thing, it just looks damn cool. And second, I really like the fact that it can go light speed. It's got more shields on it, it can take more hits, and it's a lot more maneuverable.
So basically, you want the bad guy's hot rod.
Yes, of course.
Kind of like riding a Harley.
Well, that depends on what era of Harleys, but we're not going to get into that right now.
My favorite is actually the T-65 Classic X-Wing. Thing looks like a stiletto with wings, all sharp edges.
What model of astromech would you have in it?
Oh, who cares? I'm the pilot. Do I really care the brand of blender?
Well, you need your astromech. He's helping with your navigation. He helps you with, your targeting. He's your co-pilot. He's your...
Well, then I would pick the top-of-the-line astromech. Hopefully it's likable. But at the end of the day, I want to get my target locks and my starfighter to fly. I don't need a puppy.
You don't need a puppy.
I suppose if it acted like August, that...
Oh...
That or Zed. I mean, okay,
Zed,
that would
yeah.
be perfect. I have rats. I don't have dogs or cats. And I had a really, really good friend of a rat named Zed who was, actually, he was scary intelligent for a rat, and rats are clever to begin with.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I suppose if you could have, if I had a relationship like I did with Zed, sure.
That'd be quite a sitcom.
Flat out, you like Darth's TIE Fighter, I like
yeah.
the T-65 X-Wing. Although, I've got to say, the upgraded T-70 is a pretty looking bird. That was one of the designs I approved of quite a bit.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Favorite vehicle?
Oh, AT-AT.
Yeah, okay, AT-AT.
Gotta have the AT-AT. I've always loved the AT-ATs. The AT-ATs have always been my favorites. Ever since a kid seeing Empire for the first time, and that wonderful shot through the scope of just seeing the foot hit the ground and then it pans up. They're just so epic looking, and...
Yeah, I would have to agree. It'd be the AT-AT. Now, I am not the Star Wars buff you are, but I always got the suspicion that Hoth battle, where they were going off two things. The AT-AT was supposed to be the Empire's answer to the Nazi Tiger tank, essentially the Nazis' ultimate ground weapon.
Well, also, it was a callback to...
This was the other thing I was going to say. Is it a callback to the battle that Alexander marched down the elephants and scared the hell out of the enemy, and that's why the AT-ATs walk like elephants?
Yes, it is. Also, the fact that, Alexander, when he finally got there, he only had 3 left.
Yeah.
And there were 3 AT-ATs.
There were only 3 AT-ATs?
There were only 3 AT-ATs in that scene.
Thought there were more for some
No,
reason.
there were only 3.
You only need 3.
Yeah, exactly. You only need 3.
They were supposed to move like elephants.
They were supposed to move like elephants, and they're troop carriers. They carry heavy weapons. They show up, and it's a shock factor. We all saw how hard it was for the rebels to take them down.
And they only took the 2 down because Luke had...
Power of PC.
Yeah, Luke was a Skywalker.
Yeah, exactly.
Favorite weapon?
I gotta think about that one.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll go first while you're thinking about it.
Okay.
Again, I am not the fan you are, so my answer is very easy. The Imperial Blaster, based on the Sterling submachine gun. It's a cool design. Obviously, the prop guys took a whole bunch of Sterling submachine guns, probably from a World War II movie, chopped them up, modified them, kit bashed them into very convincing weapons. They look cool.
Totally look cool. And, though it's only used once in the films, they had a stunt setting.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Weapons. Truth be told, I'm really not all that enamored with the lightsaber. Lightsaber is cool, and when I was playing the Star Wars RPG, I played a Grey Knight who had 2 of them. And if I remember correctly, technically Vader has 2 of them too. He just only ever used the 1. But apparently that's something that they have gotten rid of. It's Boba Fett's gun. Boba Fett's gun's really cool. It's
It has that sawed-off shotgun look with a...
Yeah. he can use it in close quarters. It is like the perfect weapon for a mercenary.
Favorite character?
Thrawn, was it Nathron Yorodo? He is an alien, a Chiss, who ascended to the highest ranks in the Empire. It actually became one of the 3 main apprentices of the Emperor after Vader and Mara Jade. And after the Emperor was defeated, it was Thrawn who almost brought the Empire back together again. And he did all of this without Force abilities.
My favorite character out of the entire series has to be extra number 38 in Return of the Jedi, who is standing in the 3rd row to the left when the Emperor walks down the... Amazing performance. I mean, unforgettable.
Well, what about, the method acting of the guy who hit his head and he just continued to go?
No, actually, you know who my favorite is? Your shuttle is ready, Lord Vader.
How about Wilhelm? I think Wilhelm's the best character because he's always there in every film.
Always screaming?
Always screaming.
No, I said that basically because how boring is it just to say Han? Really?
Well, what are your reasons why? Why do you like Han over everybody else?
He was the gunfighter of the Old West. Everyone in Star Wars tended to have a very solid moral compass, which was necessary. That's what the story's about, are these extremes, the light and dark. So the person who can just turn around and say, oh, fuck you, is going to be the most interesting, right? And close second is the Emperor, because he's just so damn hilarious.
How so?
Well, he's warping the universe, he's destroying everyone's life, and the whole time he's just laughing through the whole thing. The prequels were god-awful, but anytime Palpatine showed up, awesome.
I have to agree.
Favorite droid?
IG-88.
And why IG-88?
Because IG-88 was a battle droid. In fact, he was originally what the battle droids were supposed to look like. In the conflicts before the adventures of the first film, IG-88 was a remnant of that. And in the Star Wars universe, they routinely wipe the memories of the droids. One, because the droids will start creating personalities of their own and having their own ideas on what they should be doing. And IG-88 escaped having his mind wiped and became a mercenary. That story arc is just awesome.
My favorite droid would have to be the Imperial Probe, mainly because the flying jellyfish design was just so brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
That was such an awesome concept. The way it hovered and it had the jellyfish arms hanging from it. And
yeah, that was a pretty badass design.
That was an amazing design. Any closing words about Star Wars?
It'll probably never happen, but I personally would love to see them bring in the Grey Knights. I thought that was an incredibly unique concept, and that's why I played one when I played the RPG. Both the light side and the dark side believe that the balance in the Force comes from their side. The Grey Knights ride the line, and as a result, they tend to go insane.
I always hoped that instead of focusing on the dark side's lust for control and power and killing, that you'd get at least one Sith Lord that reveled in being a complete lush. Or how about one that was like a female one who just loved to fuck?
Actually, I think there was a Sith who did that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, why was it always just the angry emotion? Why didn't they use a few of the other emotions?
Anger's the easiest.
I don't know. Fucking a lot is...
Well, yeah, but it's when you have villains, it's easy to make them angry, spiteful, full of rage and angst, or to make them, mustache twirling, oh, I sure do love evil. I do like what you brought up, because, you have Yoda, who's very obvious, supposed to be, the old Buddhist master in his
crazy ways.
In his temple away from everybody else. With Buddhism, there's 2 ways to enlightenment, which is remove yourself from everything or indulge in everything.
Excess till you're numb.
Yeah, and that would be an interesting way to approach a Sith, which would be...
Rasputin was from a bizarre religious cult that believed just that.
Really?
Yeah, and he lived up in the mountains, and apparently they had some sort of weird commune of debauchery, kind of akin to Crowley's.
Really?
And then he came down from the mountains and worked his way into the royalty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be an awesome
twist on the villain. And I was joking about, how about a nymphomaniac Sith? But there was that character on Farscape, the one who replaced Scorpius. Remember her?
Yeah.
She was kind of that.
She was. The hyper sexuality effect, I think her pheromones.
She had her pheromones modified to the point that she could cloud people's minds and kind of put them in a thrall.
Yeah.
So, yeah, actually, to be honest, I think there's a lot that could be done with the series that hasn't been touched upon, but look who's at the wheel.
Yeah.
So in the future, obviously, you've got to quiz me on Star Trek.
Yes, I do.
We'll do one on Gundam. Mm-hmm. We can do Ghost in the Shell for me, or Mamoru Oshii.
Definitely.
So we can think of other Furious Fives to do, but until then, go out and buy books from 01 Publishing, or at least my books.
Have a good night.